Today. My name is Tom Anderson with Hendricks Wealth and Estate Management, and I appreciate you all spending your lunch with me today. Joined with me on screen is Jim Madel. He's one of our other advisors here on staff. And the title today, what we're all here for, is Beyond the 401k. And I kind of think that that's the whole point. Most people I talk to, they'll have a 401k, maybe even an IRA, and figure they're pretty much good. Retirement's covered, moving on. And while that is a great start, there still are other things to be thinking about that are going to have an impact on how your retirement actually goes. And most people don't even know that they need to make them. We're going to cover all seven today. I'm going to keep it simple, keep it light, and we'll get through it faster than you think. So let's go. So your 401k is just the beginning. Your 401k is great, really, but it's just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. You could think of it like the engine of your car. You still need brakes, you still need steering, and honestly, you probably even need a GPS because ending up somewhere random in retirement is not really the goal. So we've got seven decisions to cover, and these are the things that actually determine whether or not people will run out of money, whether they'll leave more than they expected, or just end up comfortable and not stressed throughout those retirement years. So the goal today is just I want you to walk out knowing what questions you should be asking, whether that's if you come work with us or something that you're asking yourself or working with anyone else. So decision one, how much will you actually need? This is where this is where most people get tripped up before they even start. You've probably heard of the rule, try to replace about 80% of your income, and that's not really a bad starting point, but we've talked to clients who spend way more in retirement and some who spend way less. And some clients, maybe that number fits, but here's what can tend to happen. Spending might be able to peak early when you're healthy, active, have time to do stuff, might dip in the middle, can climb later because of healthcare. And a flat number might not capture any of that. It might not tell you, how much am I actually spending? And that's what really matters. What does your lifestyle look like? Where are you trying to live? How long people in your family tend to live, and there's no real rule of thumb that knows any of that. And you don't need a perfect number, you need a real number. A rough estimate on how you actually want to live is a lot better than just guessing. And this is going over what are you spending now, what expenses are you going to still have when you get to retirement, and what, expenses you're going to need to carry on throughout all of your retirement years. And decision two, when should you actually retire? Kind of sounds obvious, you know, when you want, right? But timing can matter a lot more than you expect. Every year that you keep working does two things at once. It'll add to your savings and it'll knock out another year you'd be pulling money out. Um, and when those two things come together, they compound in a meaningful way. And of course, early retirement sounds great, but you have to think if you retire at 55 versus 62, it could mean 35 years of retirement versus 28, and that's a long time to make the money last. So, um, you have to be looking at these things from a broader scope. And one thing people can underestimate too is the healthcare gap. If you retire before age 65, you're not on Medicare yet, so you'll be paying for your own coverage, and that can run people over $1,000 a month per person. And these are real costs that sneak up on people, but retirement can really look however you want it to. Some people can phase in with part-time work, consulting. Some people want to just be done for good the second they retire. And that's really just a decision that you should be thinking about when you're starting to figure out when should I actually retire? Can I afford to retire early? Or are these expenses that I didn't think about going to impact that? Decision three, we get asked this one constantly. When should you claim Social Security? So some quick mechanics. The earliest you can claim is 62. Generally speaking, the full retirement age is 67. If you wait until age 70, you can get the max. And every year past that full retirement age, might add 8% more to your benefit permanently. Sounds like a good deal. But whether waiting actually makes sense really depends on your exact situation. Your health matters. If you have a reason to think you might not make it deep in your 80s, claiming earlier might pencil out to be a better outcome for you. If you've got other income, you don't need it right away, waiting can make sense. But here's what people always miss. If you're married, this can affect your spouse's survivor benefit as well. Um, the higher earner's benefit can determine what that surviving spouse gets for the rest of their life. So it's basically never just a solo decision. And the point is, the Social Security should fit into your whole income picture. Shouldn't be just a date you pick because it felt like time. Generally speaking, we tend to say if you know you're done working for good, there's a chance you probably are better off taking it early and investing that money. But this can be dependent on each person. So just making sure that that is the best option for you can be an important thing. Now, decision 4, this is about taxes, specifically how your accounts are taxed. And this one can either save people or cost people a lot of money over time. So quick refresher on the 3 buckets. You have your pre-retirement accounts. These are your traditional 401ks, your traditional IRAs. Basically, you get the tax break now, pay taxes when you pull out money later. You're basically betting you'll be in a lower bracket in retirement. Your Roth accounts flip that. You pay taxes now, it grows tax-free, and you pull it out tax-free. If you think taxes are heading up or if you want more flexibility in your retirement years, Roth can be a really powerful tool to do that, especially when you're younger. And then there are, your taxable brokerage accounts. They don't have the special protections, but they don't really have as many restrictions either. You can pull it out whenever you want for whatever you want without penalty. And here's where you get the real value is having money across all 3 can give you options in retirement. You can pull from whichever bucket is the most tax efficient in any given year. And that flexibility can add up to real money over a 20 or 30-year retirement. Now, decision 5, how will you turn those savings into income? Accumulating money and spending it down are genuinely different problems. The skills that got you to retirement don't automatically carry you through it. You hear the phrase, tigers don't change their stripes, might hold true. You've heard of the 4% rule. If you withdraw 4% in year 1, adjusted for inflation, your money historically might last for about 30 years. That's a good starting point, but it's not a guarantee. And the reason is a sequence of return risks. Let's say the market tanks right at the beginning of your retirement while you're still withdrawing the same rate can be a problem if you're not set up in the most optimal way. There's ways to manage it, of course, like we love to look at bucketing, keeping a few years in safe liquid assets while the rest stays invested in the market. So even during big downturns, it's not going to hurt you the same way as it might if you're all into one thing. And then drawing from those different account types in that smart order. Guaranteed income sources for fixed costs can be a great thing to have. And then that coordination piece across all of it is really where the planning earns its keep. From where we are, when you've got your Social Security, a pension, maybe a 401k, brokerage account, when they're all going at once, the order and timing can really matter on which you're drawing from, and that's the work that we like to focus on here. Decision 6, how much risk should you be taking as you're approaching and getting closer into retirement? And this one can go both ways. People mess it up in both directions. Too aggressive, too late is the obvious one. If you're heavy in stocks right before you retire and the market drops, you might be delaying your retirement or cutting your spending, which is not fun at all. But here's the one people don't think about as much, being too conservative too early. Moving everything to bonds or to cash because it feels safe can set you up for a rough retirement. If you've got a 30-year retirement ahead of you, inflation is just going to be quietly eating your purchasing power away the entire time. You can run out of money without ever losing a dollar just by not keeping up. And the glide path concept is basically just a gradual shift. You start with more growth, and as retirement gets closer, you can slowly reduce your risk over time, but don't slam the brakes all at once. This is not always going to be setting you up for most optimal strategy throughout retirement. And you mix in retirement really should be tied to your income needs. If a pension and Social Security pretty much covers all your basics, maybe you can afford to take more risk on the rest. The context matters a lot, and really your situation matters a lot. And last but not least, decision 7, what happens to your money when you're gone? Estate planning. I know it's not maybe the most exciting topic for everybody, but this one can be really, really useful. Nobody wants to give more money to Uncle Sam even when you pass. Um, First things first, estate planning is not just for ultra wealthy people. If you have stuff and people in your life that matter to you, you need a plan. Otherwise, the state makes one for you and it probably doesn't look like what you want it to. And here's something that can surprise a lot of people. The beneficiary designations on your retirement accounts and your life insurance overrides your will. Whether that's from when you opened the account in 1998, who's ever on that form is going to be getting the money. That's where the money goes, regardless of what your will might say. Updating these is one of the highest value, lowest effort things anybody can do when it comes to estate planning. And you don't want to accidentally give money to your college girlfriend just because you forgot to update her off of the beneficiary list on your investment account from when you were 22. Um, Basic documents everybody should have is a will, maybe a power of attorney, so someone can make financial decisions for you if you can't. And a healthcare directive spelling out what would you like to do if you were incapacitated. And depending on your situation too, um, a trust can be a powerful tool, and they're not just for ultra wealthy individuals. Trusts can help your assets pass down to heirs without ever going through probate, can give you more control over how and when your money is distributed, and offer privacy that maybe a will alone won't provide. And if your estate has potential tax exposure as well, or you want to do any meaningful charitable giving once you pass, there can be a lot of very good strategies that help reduce that taxable burden and create a real impact in society. And that's kind of where estate planning can get kind of fun. Um, and so, I mean, that's the 7. We went from figuring out how much you'll need in retirement, timing retirement, Social Security, taxes, generating income, managing risk, and what happens at the end. So if any of this has got you thinking about your own situation and what you are going through, or maybe you have any questions about any of the steps here at Hendricks Wealth, we'd love to have that conversation with you, and that's really what we're here for. You can reach us at that info@hendrickswealth.com, um, or at either office. We are located both in Algonquin, Illinois, and right here where I am in Bradenton, Florida. It's always no pressure, no obligation. Just real conversations. And again, thank you so much for joining me today. And if you have any questions, there should be a Q&A box down below, and feel free to pop questions in the chat.
Excellent. Yeah, thanks, Tom. That was a great presentation. While we're waiting to see if there's any questions, for those of you that are in attendance today or anyone watching this on its replay, we do this every Wednesday, same time, 11:30 Central. There will be one change coming up that I'm going to tell you about, but next Wednesday we have a special guest from one of our mutual fund companies, Columbia Threadneedle. Luke Kogan will be speaking about technology investing. Is AI an opportunity or hype? Then the following week, on June 17th, Jim Hendricks will be talking about You're a Millionaire. Congratulations. Now avoid these mistakes millionaires make. Then the following Wednesday, this will be a live presentation in the evening. We're going to host a live Ask a Financial Advisor Anything session out at Oak and Alchemy Smokehouse and Woodfire Pizza, and that's in Woodstock, Illinois. And you can visit our events page on hendrickswealth.com to sign up for that. Then on July 1st, we will have another special guest, Amanda Nelson from Senior Lifestyle Solutions, and she's going to be speaking about the cost of aging. So those are a few of the upcoming webinars we have and live in-person events. But yeah, I'll turn it back over to Tom to wrap it up if we don't see any questions come in.
All right. Yeah, I don't currently see any questions in the chat. If you do have any questions, feel free to email us at that email on the screen. Go to our website and we have all of our contact information on there. Or feel free to give us a call at that number or our Florida number, which should be on the website as well. And it's right up on this screen here. But again, thank you all for taking the time out of your lunch day. Try to make this a little bit quicker today just to take up a little bit less of your time. But if you got any questions, come find us. We'll be around, and we'd love to set up a time to sit down and one-on-one conversation about anything we covered here today or anything else you might have. So hope you all have a great rest of your day and appreciate you all being here.
Take care, everyone.